So the first thing I'm doing is priming my face. I'm going to be using the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. This stuff is very, very good. Hides imperfections, gives you a nice clean slate, and gives your foundation something to stick to. And then I'm trying something new. This is my first time trying this. This is a Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. And I'm hoping that it helps things not crease under the eyes. And then I'm going to the Hourglass Vanish Foundation. The color is Shell. So I'm just placing dots of it all throughout my face, as you can see, and I'm going to be blending it out. It looks cray. I'm going to be blending it out with a damp beauty blender, and this foundation is phenomenal. It just looks so much like your own skin, and you don't even feel like you're wearing foundation, so it is just so nice. I look like I am dead, the color of my skin right there, but as you can see, it matches my neck, and it's all going to even out when I bronze and all that stuff. Then I'm going to be concealing and brightening with Tarte's Shape Tape Concealer. This is one of my favorite, you guys. You know this. I use this a lot. And I like to place it under my eyes. I'm not doing a triangle shape because I'm going to be bringing it down. You need very little of this product, and it goes a long way. And I also like to place it around my nose because I get red there. I also bring it up onto my eyelids as a primer. It is a perfect primer, so you don't have to actually use a separate primer for your eyes. And it kind of gets rid of all the veins on your eyelids and all the discoloration and gives you a clean slate. Then I'm moving on to this NYX Banana Powder. This is a pressed powder, and I'm taking that same damp beauty blender, and I am just dabbing that onto all of the areas that I just placed the Tarte concealer. And this is just going to help everything from creasing, and also it's going to help it stay in place all day long or all night long, whichever you're doing this look for. Then moving on to brows, I'm just going to be brushing my brows up with a spoolie and using one of my faves, NYX Tame and Frame. This is the color Espresso, and I'm using an angled brush from MAC, and I'm just taking a little bit and dabbing the excess off and placing that in all the places that I typically kind of, just fill in my brows where I have some sparse areas. And I'm not trying to make them super bold today. I'm just kind of giving them some definition, and again, just giving them a little bit more of a full look. Then I'm taking Benefit's Gimme Brow, and I'm just going to set my brows so that they stay in place. Then I'm going to take some Hoola bronzer, and I'm actually going to contour with it, do some mild contouring. Decided to switch things up a little bit today because variety is the spice of life, and I typically don't use this guy to contour, but it does a great job. Then surprise, surprise, I'm going to take Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula as my bronzer, and I'm going to give some life back to my face because, as you can tell, it's kind of like a flat one-dimension look, and this is a beautiful bronzer. It's just so natural and blends like a dream. Moving on to eyes. Okay, so let's get started with our smoky eye. First, I am going to place my brow bone highlight down. I'm using Bone from the Metal Matte palette from Kat Von D. Then I'm going to take Suede on a big fluffy brush. I'm going to use this as a transition color. This is a very, very nice color, almost exactly the color of my skin, and it blends so nicely. Moving on to the darker color. This is Cocoa from Bobbi Brown, and I'm placing that on a MAC 217, so it's not as big and fluffy. It's a little bit more dense and defined than the other brush. And I'm just going to start packing that and blending it all over my lid and my crease, and just continue to blend it until it is very well blended. Then I'm going to go back to that big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to do some more blending. So it's got that lighter brown color on it, and it's just going to blend things out. Then I'm taking NARS's Galapagos. This is one of my favorite browns, but it does give a lot of fallout. So I'm placing Laura Mercier translucent powder, tons of it under my eye, so all that fallout can be just dusted off later. And I'm going to be packing that color all over my lid, and I'm going to be taking it above my lid slightly in kind of a circular pattern, and then I'm going to start blending it out once I've packed as much of it as the intensity that I want on. Because there's so much fallout and I wanted it a little bit more intense and it was coming out, I did use some MAC Fix Plus on the brush, and then I picked up some more of the shadow and placed more of it on. And as you can see, I'm also kind of dragging it out slightly as kind of like a cat eye look. And you guys know I love that kind of almondy cat eye effect. And then I'm taking that brush that I used before with cocoa on it, and I'm just blending everything out. Then back to the big fluffy brush, I'm going to do some more blending. So really the secret is just to blend a lot. You really just don't want any harsh lines. You want everything to look seamless. So I'm just going to be freshening up the brow bone highlight because some of it did come off. And then I'm going to take one of my favorite brushes. This is a Sigma. It's a blending brush, but see how small it is? So it's perfect for areas like that where you want to blend, but you really need some precision. Then I am taking the Marc Jacobs gel liner, and I'm going to be smudging that very, very close to the lash line. And don't worry, again, I usually do this. I like them smoky. I don't really do precise, so don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. And then take a smudgy brush and work pretty quickly because this stuff sets pretty fast, but smudge it out. So you may actually want to do one eye at a time, which I did not do, but it worked out just fine. And I got really hot, so I decided to put my hair up, and then we will move on. Look at that fallout. Oh my gosh. Ah! So yeah, with that Galapagos, it's gorgeous, but it's crazy fallout, so I'm glad I put that powder under there. Then finishing up with the Marc Jacobs liner, just tight lining and putting it in my lower waterline as well. And I'm just going to dust off that powder and no more fallout. Taking a pencil brush, I am going to be taking that color that you saw, the middle shade brown, the cocoa color, and bringing that all across my lower lash line. And then I'm taking that smudgy brush and putting a little bit of Galapagos on it and basically doing the same thing, but I'm just going to be doing that a little bit more defined. And then I'm going to be blending it all out. So I'm going to be taking that brush that has, I think it has the lightest color I used from earlier, and blending and blending and blending. I want this to look super blown out. So just keep blending until it looks as blown out as you want. And then I'm taking this black color and on a defined brush, and I am placing that super duper close to my lashes. I wanted to give it a little bit more depth and darkness because it kind of looked too light compared to the top, and I really wanted it to match. And then I'm just doing some more blending. Then I'm going to take MAC's Nylon and use that as an inner corner highlight. This is super dramatic and bright, and you can see it from a mile away. But because everything else is matte, I wanted it to be that way. So I wanted to give it a nice pop of color there. And then I'm just going to be curling my lashes, applying some mascara to the top and bottom lashes. And I'm going to be using Benefit's They're Real Mascara. This stuff is amazing, especially for the bottom lashes. It's got this little interesting end where you can pretty much get to all, as you can see, like right there, you can pretty much get to all your lashes on the bottom without a problem, and it gives a lot of length, which is something that I like. Then I've got falsies on. I place them off camera. I cannot figure out which blush to use. This is the Tarte Color Wheel. Decided to use Montage. This is a beautiful color. Gives life to the face, especially with a really dark smoky eye that I just did. And then I added a little bit of kind of like a pinky color. I believe the color is Surreal. And then I'm taking that Lancome highlight that you see there, and it is a cream, but it does become a cream to powder. Placing it on the typical places, high points of the cheek. I put some on my nose and on my Cupid's bow. Back to Tarte Color Wheel, I used the highlight in there. It's called Crafty, and I went over the Lancome because I wanted it a little bit more, I don't know, golden, I guess. It just didn't look right to me, and I placed some on my shoulder as well. And then I'm using a Smashbox color. I will list it down below. I do not know the name of it, but I went back and lined my lips with, I believe this is Subculture from MAC, and it's like a perfect combination, these two, and it just gave it more definition. I'm going to add some gloss. This is called Pink Lady, and I have no idea why because it looks gold. It does have some pink undertones, but anyway, it does add kind of like a gold, nudie, peachy look to the lips. And here's the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.